Well, I'm back one more time. I remember telling you last week that that was my last video, but I got a suggestion from Rock Hunter 62, I believe, that maybe I should do a video, a little quick video on my folding flint pocket knives. Now, this is something I've been making for a number of years. I can't remember the exact year I started, but I started tinkering around with these things. Let me see here. 1994, I believe. This is the first one that I made, and I think that says 1994. So this was my very first folding flint pocket knife. Now, this was good for a prototype, but it needed a lot of improvement. So, as you notice, it's got a pretty nice blade in it. Not bad for number one, but here's the problem. Didn't lock back to where I wanted it to be straight with the handle like that. Plus it was just hanging out there and I just didn't like the look of it. But I did learn a lot by making this one, and I learned what not to do. The blade in this one is Onondaga chert, and I went with that Onondaga theme for quite a while. Now over the years I've made probably a couple hundred of these, if not more. But it all started right here with my very first one. Now, if you want to see how I make these knives, I do have two videos on my channel that show me making one from start to finish. So, I suggest, going there and checking that out. Now, here's one that I made not long after that. I didn't date this one. Oh, yes, I did. This was 1994, and this was the improved version of what I just showed you. Now, you notice this thing is no cutout here, but the blade's down in there, and it locks back just the way I wanted it to. And I like that look a lot better than that blade just hanging out there. And you see there's a nice little, about a 1/4 inch or a little more slot in here for this piece to work. And again, Onondaga chert was the material I chose to use for the blade. And this was the start of me making some halfway decent folding flint pocket knives. Well, as I said, I made a lot of these over the years, and I'd go through spells where I'd make a few and then I wouldn't make any for a year or so. And when I get back, I always had new ideas. Now here's one I kind of liked. Let's see, this one's 2016, so a lot of time had passed between these earlier knives and this one here, and I'd made a lot of knives. But I wanted to take just the base of an antler for, the lower section, and make that into a complete knife. This one came out really good too. Again, still with the Onondaga theme. I absolutely love this knife here. Look at that. That came out neat, and that blade folds right into the handle, and the tip is buried right into the rosette. And I think that's the only one that I made like that. So, along the way, I'd make a real pretty knife, and I'd try to keep it if I could, just because I like these things so much. This one's 2016, and this is a really improved version of the knife. And look at this blade. This is an Vaculite, and what a great look that has. Very translucent. I think you can almost see how translucent that is. And that folds in there. That slot's just a little narrower. I was starting to get it down. And you can see I had a lot of bone dust in there. In that. Now that bond holds very well. I've never had one yet come out of there. So I'm going to stick with that for as long as I make these. So as I was going along, I had this one idea. Now here's a knife that I carry right here. You notice it's got a belt clip on it. Very handy. Comes out pretty quick. It's a Kershaw knife. My grandson gave this to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I broke the tip off and I rounded that, and still use it for just about everything. I carry it with me everywhere I go. Well, like I was thinking how much I would like to have an antler handled knife that had a belt clip. So I had this one particular fat antler, and I cut a slot in it right here. Nothing more than just cutting down the side of the antler, and you can see it's got a belt clip on it right there. And this thing really does stick well on your pocket. Now I think this blade is hornstone in this one, and it really came out good, and that's been a keeper since the day I made it. I think I've made just 2 of these in all the knives I've made, but I really love this one. And that belt clip idea, it's got to be just the right antler, got to be fat enough, and put that channel down through there, and then you got yourself a clip. So the last knife that I have in my collection is this one here. Now the last video I did on showing how I made these antler handled knives, I made this knife here and I kept it. So that is like a pen knife. This has really got a nice blade in it, very slender profile. Really like this thing. When you got it in your pocket, you hardly know it's in there. And that's my last one I videoed as I made it. So I can't say for sure if this is going to be my last in the series. I thought it was the last video I made. Something else might come along, but I did want to share with you this one right here with these antler handled knives, and I hope you enjoyed the stories behind them. So that'll be it for this time. And again, I always ask, if you aren't subbed to my channel, I'd really appreciate a sub, and give me a like if you do like this, and leave me a comment. So that'll be it for this time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Everybody have a great day.